Hi everybody and welcome to Indigo Sky Holistic. My name is Davina Ketson. I'm an intuitive holistic therapist and I'm based here in Sowerby Bridge at Soul Wellness Hub. And this video is it's a second introduction. There will be a EFT video linked right here, but this is the second brief introduction about the new series on my YouTube channel, EFT for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. So as I previously mentioned in the first video in this playlist, I'm drawing on my own experiences from having left the Jehovah's Witness religion, organisation, cult, whatever you want to call it, to create some EFT specific to the needs of those who have broke free from that religion. It will also be very supportive to those who have broken free from other religious organisations of the same ilk, like Mormonism, Scientology, even people who've left other religions who feel like they've got stories following them around that come from that side of their lives, their previous religious upbringing. There'll also be uses for people who have been in very maybe authoritarian upbringings with family, or who've been in school educational systems that they feel have created similar energies, or maybe even if you're the black sheep of the family and your family have disowned you because they don't agree with your lifestyle or your choices in life. So this part 2 of the introduction is really just to draw on the specifics of using EFT to move through complex PTSD or deep conditioning beliefs. Just speaking to the Jehovah's Witness upbringing side of things, some of the beliefs I covered in the previous video around how we're taught that is the only religion and anyone who doesn't belong to it ultimately will die. That's a deep core belief around fear, around shame if you don't live up to the high standards as set out by them, and that's common in a lot of religious upbringing, a lot of Christianity upbringing. There's still an element of fear in more mainstream Christian religions like Catholicism, and it can just be, it's the importance to know that these things you may have consciously, it's rubbish, that's not the case, that's not true, you're not going to be destroyed by God, you're not going to go to hell and all of that. This is, and the beautiful thing that I feel like EFT really helps us with, is releasing the subconscious patterning. That is the stuff that we don't actually know is still there, even when we've journaled life out, we have affirmationed life out, we have visualized and meditated everything out. There's still those subconscious beliefs, which I feel from my own experience slip back in when life isn't quite as you are desirous of it to be, or it's not quite flowing as you'd like it to be, when life throws you a curveball, or when there's a new trigger, like you might lose somebody and then be like, oh, that's brought up a whole new situation. Speaking specifically to Jehovah's Witnesses or religions, there may be a doctrinal change that triggers you. That's certainly been the case recently in 2024 with many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, that they are feeling like there's some changes within the organisation that are challenging and triggering to them. And this is actually then why people who are within the organisation choose to go hold on a minute, this has changed and this is supposed to be the true religion. Hold on a minute, something's wrong there, and this is why there are people who leave. And that can be the case in any sort of structure, any organisation, even people who believe in science as like the truth. And the only truth, when science shows something new, it can be really triggering for people who've got a really strong belief in the black and white of science, which science isn't black and white, by the way. Science is always changing because that's the nature of science. So yeah, this is just to refresh on. We're using EFT here to help to undo, decondition your subconscious mind, and through that also shift the energy that is being stored in your body with emotions that then arise when a trigger hits, when a situation hits. Maybe you see somebody, you meet somebody, you hear of somebody, or you lose a loved one who still was, and maybe you can't attend the funeral. You have a little bit of background for anyone who's watching this who's no idea what teachings and beliefs Jehovah's Witnesses have. If you leave or you do something that they deem wrong within their structure and they remove you from the congregation, or if you choose to leave and say so, or you leave and begin to share your truths about the dogmatic side of it, you start to state that it's not the true religion, for example, you can be what they call, well, they used to call, because there's another one thing that's not the same, they used to call disfellowshipping, and I think within Catholicism it's like excommunication, and it's like you're no longer one of them. And for lots and lots of people, this does actually mean then that loved ones don't talk to them ever again. It can mean that every single friend, family member, acquaintance, everybody they've ever known then cuts them off completely. Won't speak to them, won't even acknowledge them in the street. I had an experience at my mother's funeral whereby I wasn't and haven't been disfellowshipped from the Jehovah's Witnesses. And at my mum's funeral, everybody was absolutely lovely to me. However, there was just two people who point blank refused to speak to or acknowledge me, or my husband. And that was like, wow. Those sorts of things can then be triggers of where you think you've healed, where you think you've let go of stuff. They can be new triggers that come up. So the depths of this indoctrination and this subconscious patterning can be so deep that you think you're doing really well and you think everything's going really well, and then suddenly something hits you and you feel the depths of the pain that you felt, the trauma, the triggers, and the belief of you might be feeling like you're doomed to destruction. You might be feeling like you're not good enough, like God's going to destroy you, or that your family hate you, and it plays that role then of lowering your self-esteem, lowering your self-worth, lowering your self-love, lowering your vibration and frequency into thinking like, what's the point? And that can rise like resentment issues, anger issues. It can bring up all those emotions that we have felt. And this is the big point of EFT, is that it really helps and supports people to process these challenging emotions quite gently. EFT is quite a gentle emotional clearing process, quite gently, but in quite a powerful way, that you can see a shift happen within your own body very quickly. You can go from being really angry, really tearful, really emotional, into a state of feeling much more peaceful, accepting, calm, even just a state of neutrality of like, right, okay, you know, it is what it is type of thing. And that is the beautiful, significant part of how EFT works generally for anybody who uses it and tries it, but also for those when you're specific. EFT is so incredibly powerful when you bring a specific thing to the table and are able to explore that. So I'm going to bring some specifics to the table, specific to Jehovah's Witnesses beliefs, indoctrination, the triggers, traumas and pains that people who leave feel, bringing that to the table to help people to move on and release themselves from. And I feel like one of the big things that many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses have a deep, like almost inbuilt patterning with is, first of all, feeling they're worthy of that asking for help, reaching out for support, paying for support, having the financial means to pay for, or feel that it's something that's worthy to spend their money on. But there's also the flip side of it. For many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, they actually really struggle with income, with jobs, with holding employment, with having been discouraged from further education, which is the case in many countries for Jehovah's Witnesses, discouraged from further education, feeling inadequate because they're not well educated, and then not getting the sort of employment that provides them with an income that they then feel they can spend on therapy and on support. So that's why I wanted to create this. I wanted to create this as a free access point. These EFT sessions will be much more like the ones that are in my paid side of my EFT tapping videos and content on my website. There'll be like 2 elements to them. They'll be deeper, and by all means anyone can be using them for free. However, they will be talking very specific about specific Jehovah's Witness beliefs. I might be using the word specific too much here. But very, very specific Jehovah's Witness beliefs that might seem really weird and really foreign to anybody who's not had that upbringing or has those beliefs. So by all means, if you're not and have never been a Jehovah's Witness, go along with the tapping if you can tailor it to you. If you are not a Jehovah's Witness but have been brought up in some other cult or some other like deeply indoctrinated way of living, then again, by all means, switch out what words feel right for you. If you feel like the subject matter is relevant to you, then tap away. It will all help anyway. And at the end of the day, you're moving your energy through your body. Even if you're saying words that are like slightly unrelated, you're still moving your energy through your body and shifting and clearing. And we also clear and shift them for everybody else. Maybe you're not a Jehovah's Witness, maybe you know a Jehovah's Witness who's really struggling, and you could hold them in your heart and in your mind and tap for them. Maybe they're not ready to tap with the video, but they're willing to allow you to tap for them. And it could be something that could be really beneficial. Or maybe you're struggling with seeing a loved one going through this, and you want to tap for yourself so that you can better maybe understand the thought processes that are going on for those people who have broke free and endeavouring and doing their best to break free from this level of indoctrination. So that's part 2 of the little introduction to what I'm creating here on my channel, and there will be, when this is released, a brand new EFT for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses here for you to go and check out. So thank you for watching, and please do, taking full responsibility for yourself and your own well-being, know that you can have a clear, bright and positive experience in your life. However you feel like you have been wronged or shunned or hurt by your upbringing and your past experiences, however you conditioned you have been to feel unworthy, unlovable, not good enough, You are blessed, you are beautiful, you are wonderful, and so much love is coming to you right now. Take care, and I will see you soon.